When you see this podcast, it will be airing on March the 5th at 6 a.m. in the morning. First of all the stuff I mentioned in this one, I'm using information from the CPT Foundation, Nate Posterite, I'm not sure I pronounced his last name, and Beating Traumas with Corey. And this month's podcasts are all entitled Trauma, and these will be podcasts, 15 through 18 to 3. So 15 through podcasts 15 through 19. Alright. I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna reread the first line. First of all the stuff I mentioned in this one, I'm using information from the CPTSD Foundation, Nate Posterite, and Beating Traumas with Corey, because their stuff is amazing. It helped me and tons of other people, and it's easy to understand, for I'm a survivor of what's known as childhood trauma. But I have learned to deal with everything that comes with being a childhood trauma survivor. Like having to deal with pain, scars, wounds of what I have been through, but don't ever tell anyone just to get over it. You can never just get over it. It doesn't just apply with those who are childhood trauma survivors, or it's anyone that's been traumatized, or those who have been abused in any way. Here's something from Beating Traumas with Corey. Anger gets a bad rap. We have heard that anger is not acceptable for most of our lives. We hear that it is undignified and even crazy to be angry. It's confusing because we often grew up in a household with a very angry person, but we are told we can never be angry. This continues in adulthood, as oppressed people are villainized for expressing anger, even though powerful people express it all the time. But there's an ulterior motive for these messages. If we get angry, they lose their control. In reality, they are terrified of our anger. Why? Our anger is our self-love. It is telling us that something is wrong with how we are being treated. Let it say what it needs to say. Rage on the page. The more we can express our anger, the better our boundaries will become, because you're expressing how you truly feel. I've done it with my mother, and Dove family, I'm not afraid to do so. And it does. And it helps set boundaries, and when they realize that you're angry and you're frustrated and you're upset because they're not following through with what your boundaries are, they understand that you have a way of doing things, to handle things. You got your own life to live, that they are not going to sit there and control you, overstep your boundaries or your personal bubble, because they want to. So this is the end of the first part of this, because this is a full month thing. And I'm going to give you a heads up. April is going to be trusting in God and faith in God. And it's also going to have part of Maze, which is being there for those that are dealing with depression, that are just struggling to get through things. So that's going to be an interesting month of April. So that'll probably be the other half of it, since there's 5 Sundays that I got to cover. So thanks, and have a good day, and hopefully this podcast blesses somebody.